If you're a Canadian Shopify seller selling to US customers, you could be breaking the law by not registering for US sales tax. And if you've hit the threshold to collect sales tax, you could be liable to penalties and interest. Not only that, you could be forced to pay the tax out of your own pocket. You might be thinking Shopify is doing everything for you and you don't have to do anything. So did my client, until they realized they would have to pay thousands out of their own pocket. My name is Sal and I'm an e-commerce focused CPA in Toronto helping you guys with US and Canadian tax obligations. Let's get into the video. One of my clients has a Shopify store from Canada and was selling clothing in the US for years and never registered for sales tax. They thought Shopify would handle everything, but they didn't realize that this was not happening automatically. And they were hitting multiple thresholds in multiple states and they would have to collect sales tax and pay it to the state government as well. Thankfully, they came to us and we got them registered ASAP. So I decided, why not make this video for you guys to ensure that you don't go through the same. So let's cover some basics of sales tax when it comes to the United States. See, the US is not like Canada when it comes to sales tax. There is no national sales tax and each state has its own rules and rates. Shopify collects sales tax as your marketplace facilitator, but here's the catch. You must still register and file that tax. It's like Shopify is the cashier, but you're still the business owner. You must still file tax returns even if Shopify collected everything for you. So let's understand this concept a bit. There are two terms you must be very, very careful and knowledgeable about: economic nexus and physical nexus. Let's talk about the first one, economic nexus. If you hit a certain threshold in a certain state, you would be liable to collect sales tax and pay it to the government. Most states have $100,000 as their threshold for a calendar year when you have to register for sales tax. It is only California, Texas, and New York that have $500,000. Most other states have $100,000. So when you hit those thresholds, you have to register for sales tax, you have to collect it, and you have to pay it to the state. So that's what economic nexus means. Physical nexus is basically wherever you have your inventory or wherever your manufacturing is being done, that's considered your physical nexus because you have a physical presence in that state. Now, most Shopify sellers come and ask me, but I don't have US employees. I don't have an office there. Even the warehousing is actually at a 3PL. I don't own that warehouse or I don't lease that warehouse. So how am I liable for any state sales tax? And you're right, it does make sense, but that is only in the case of income tax because of the US-Canada tax treaty saying that if you're not yourself in that state or in the United States, you are exempt for income tax. But for sales tax, it is a completely different scenario. What happened in 2018 was there was a legal dispute between the e-commerce company Wayfair and the state of South Dakota. The ruling was that states can now tax you just based on either sales volume or you having physical nexus. And physical nexus here means a warehouse that is not yours, but if your inventory is there, that is basically you having nexus in that state and you're liable to have sales tax registration, collection, and payment. So let's talk about the step-by-step guidance on how to do all of this. So number one, you assess your nexus and you track your sales by state. I've actually made a calculator which is in the description telling you exactly how to do this. You can put your values for each sales in each state and it's going to tell you where you should register and where you're below the threshold. So go in the description, find it, by all means use it as you like. Number two is you should get an EIN or an employer identification number, and you can get it for free by calling the IRS on this number on my screen, and you can just register for it. Now, if you need step-by-step instructions on how to do that, that is in this video, and where I talk about how to get it the exact same day by just calling the IRS. Once you've done that, you know which states you have to register in, you have an employer identification, you have to register in each state separately. And I highly recommend using tools to do that. So for example, you have Shopify Tax, you have Avalara, you've got TaxJar. If you want me to talk about all of these and talk about which tool I find the best, happy to do that if you leave me a comment down below. But use those tools to register for sales tax and to automatically collect those sales tax based on where your customer is. So when the customer puts their zip code, when they're putting the purchase, it's going to automatically calculate sales tax based on their zip code. and then it's going to collect that and remit it to the government as well. Again, I am happy to make a video separately on which tool I like the best, and if you just let me know in the comments below. Now, just be careful on one thing. If in a certain year your sales in that one state dip below the threshold or there's zero, you still have to collect those sales tax and still remit it. And you still, even if it's zero, you still have to file a zero return. There are penalties for not doing that. Sometimes it's as small as $60 in Texas, but they can rise with different states. The next step is to make sure that you are on top of your filing frequency. So it could be monthly, it could be quarterly, or it could be annual based on the volume in each state. But just make sure you're on top of that. And I would highly suggest using an online tool that can help you automate all of this. I would also recommend keeping records for years. IRS and states can go back up to 6 years to audit you. And again, if you're using a tool, that's going to help you because that's going to stay in your record for years to come. Now let's talk about some of the biggest mistakes that e-commerce store owners make when it comes to sales tax. Number one, assuming Shopify would do everything for you. You should be making sure that you're on top of it, not just leaving it to Shopify tax to do it. You should be checking it regularly. It is not like Amazon that it just collects it and pays it for you and you don't even have to worry about anything. In Shopify, you need to be having your hands dirty with the sales tax registration, filing, and payments. Number two, thinking you're too small for registering for sales tax. I repeat, most states have only $100,000 as your threshold for registering all of this. If you don't collect that sales tax, they can fine you and they can also ask you to pay out of pocket. States have also now started to audit warehouses to see their list of customers, and that way they can literally come after you because you would be on the list of the customers for your 3PL warehouse. Number three, thinking you can do this yourself. There are numerous tools out there to help you out. Do not attempt these yourself. You can either use TaxJar, Avalara, Shopify Tax. There's a couple of others like Numeral, but there's so many tools out there. Do not attempt to do these yourself because it's not worth the hassle and it's not worth the stress if you miss a deadline. The next mistake is forgetting that you also have income tax requirements. This whole video has been about sales tax, but you also have income tax requirements both to the federal government in the United States and to state governments. For this, I have separate videos. I talk about all of that, and obviously you can check them out here, or my team would put it at the end of the video. If that's something you want to speak to us more deeply about, we're a cross-border tax firm that help you Canadians with their U.S. tax obligations and their Canadian tax obligations. Just head to salaccounting.ca where my team will love to help you out. The last mistake is forgetting to subscribe to this channel, which is going to keep you safe from tax surprises. That's it. See you in the next one, guys.